This is episode 57 of Standing Out. Standing Out is a remarkable interview-style podcast with the intention to highlight women and men making outstanding contributions in their field. This podcast is generously sponsored by Think Global. Think Global is a business advisory firm working with women entrepreneurs around the globe to scale their businesses to the next level. Today, I'd like to welcome Fran Dunaway. As co-founder and CEO of TomboyX, Fran is the central hub for all things TomboyX, and she collaborates with all departments to get shit done. When not working, Fran takes long walks with her labradoodle and sneaks in late-night games of Halo. Being a tomboy means embracing her strong ability to lead, finding solutions to impossible problems, being an unstoppable force of female moxie. Bossiness came early to Fran. She often wrangled the neighborhood kids for a game of football or theatrical arts, with her playing quarterback and director, of course. Fran, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you very much, Katrina. Happy to be here.
That was one of the most fun bios to read. I love embracing the tomboy, and I love that you were quarterback and director. Big surprise, right? That's great. So tell us a little bit about this journey. How did TomboyX become a thing?
Well, we started this underwear company because I wanted a cool shirt. And that's kind of the short of it.
You wanted a cool shirt?
Yeah, I wanted a cool shirt.
And you got underwear?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, just making sure I'm following.
Exactly. You know, it started, I had I was very happy in a career that I had been in for about 15 years, and it was lucrative. It had vacations. It allowed me to play Halo in the late evenings, those kind of things. But we started because I was frustrated with the lack of beautiful shirt options for women. I prefer a woven shirt with buttons with a collar. I just am more comfortable in that. And the options for women were very cheap. Disposable. They didn't have any fun details like a men's Robert Graham or a Ben Sherman type shirt. So that was where we started. And we picked the name Tomboy because we thought it was a cute name. We ran a Kickstarter campaign to pay for the shirts and recognized that the name of the company was resonating with a cross-section of women and girls from around the world, really, who were so excited to have a brand that saw them. And so that's when we realized, oh, this is an opportunity to really build a brand. And then it became, my wife and co-founder and I knew that we wanted to really focus on what that brand play would mean. So it needed to be reflective of who we are. So that meant we wanted it to be all inclusive. We wanted it to be body positive. We wanted it to be something that was about celebrating how cool you are, not trying to tell you how to be cool.
I love that. When you were doing the Kickstarter and starting with shirts and building that brand out and all of those components of what it would be today, did you have that long-term vision at that moment, or were you doing the Kickstarter just to get the funds to do an initial run?
Yeah, we wanted to, this was a little side project in our garage.
Okay.
That was going to be about some shirts. So we took the money from the Kickstarter and put the shirts into production. We sold out of all the shirts, by the way, and had 0 returns. And so it was very much about just that. And the opportunity that we saw, which was more the business opportunity, which was about the brand play. And so we weren't sure what the heck to do with it. We were like, well, we've got this opportunity. We don't know enough about marketing, and we don't know if it's really about just the shirt. But we of course, we got some branded or blanks and put our logo on it while we tried to figure it out. And that's how this is the Colorado connection. So when it was just me and Naomi, about 2 weeks before we decided to make the first boxer briefs for women, and that was because we heard from a lot of our customers, and a friend who's a police officer here locally brought her stack of men's boxer briefs and said, look, anybody that's active, wears loose-fitting clothes, boxer briefs are the most comfortable, and they're only made for men, and there are a lot of pieces that they don't work for my body. Some
Yeah.
are obvious, some are not so obvious.
Yes. Okay. Wow. So you went from shirts to underwear based on the feedback.
Yes.
And you're only underwear now, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And how has the
So circling back to the Colorado piece,
yeah.
so we needed someone that understands branding, that is really good at that piece of it.
Mhm.
And so we met a woman who works at the CPB group in Boulder called the Crispin Porter Boguski. It's a branding agency.
Yeah.
And we had coffee with Courtney Loveman. And as soon as we started talking to Courtney and her passion and her vision and her understanding of what the brand was about,
Yeah.
we knew we had found the person that would lead the charge to help us figure out our voice.
That's awesome. And it's amazing what a difference a brand makes, brand versus commodity, right? Like we will choose brand nearly every time because it means something to us and it means something to like it just means more and it feels good to choose a brand, that aligns. I think that was a really smart decision. So what do you think, let me just ask, when you had, I believe it was more of a corporate career, right? Before the shirt company and the underwear, was that in apparel at all? Or was that a totally different field?
Oh, hell no. I didn't know a knit from a woven. No, Naomi nor myself knew a knit from a woven, seriously. And we had no idea what we were doing. We know a little bit more we know actually a lot more about what we're doing now. We've learned a lot in the last 3 years. And it was just more about a need. And then it was about being able to listen and then see that there was an opportunity. There was also so much divisiveness that was going on in the country. And we just felt like there was really an opportunity to kind of engage or start a conversation that was not about how we're different, but about how we're similar.
Yeah.
And so that was the brand play piece for us. And like I said, we had really great careers. I was a video producer. I produced television ads for politicians. I was a partner in a media strategies firm. Naomi had a thriving sports massage business. But this was very new to both of us.
So a lot of budding entrepreneurs I talk to, one of the challenges that they have is that confidence piece of starting something new when they feel like, just what you said, we didn't know the difference between knits and wovens, right? Like, how can we bring this product to market? So share with us a bit about that. Like, did you have any confidence, internal conflict, or were you just like, hey, it's about the brand and I get the brand and I'm putting it out there?
Well, I think that initially, I still remind Naomi that it was her question that kind of kicked us all off, which was, how hard can it be to start a clothing company?
I love it.
That kind of, we took the leap. I think that the things that, in terms of personalities, in the ways that we are similar, we're complementary in a lot of ways, but in the ways that we're similar is that we both want to fix things.
Sure.
And we both want to, and we're both not afraid to jump. But let me be clear. This is one of the most terrifying things I've done in my life, and I'm not a spring chicken, and I've faced a lot of terror in my life and terrifying things. But this is up there with the most terrifying, and so it's been a real challenge, and it hasn't been easy. And I think we're finally getting to the place where we've really kind of come through the worst of it.
Yeah, I can really relate to that. I've built this agency, and my husband and I have been talking about something, not something else to do, but something to do together. And we've been coming up with this idea of, let's have a music school in Colorado and franchise out from there. And we'll have these unique things about it that'll make it able to be franchised. But we did the exact same thing of, how hard can a music school be, right? And then we're sitting here like, maybe it is hard. So we're about to find out pretty soon. But
for you,
it's the one little comment that, how hard can it be, right?
Yep.
So what do you do, as entrepreneurs, we love the good days and we love the forward momentum of those, but we also know we have bad and hard days in between. What do you do to kind of recover from a bad day or stay committed during those harder times?
Gosh, I don't know that we're there yet.
Okay.
Actually, Memorial Day weekend, a couple of weekends ago,
Yeah.
was literally the first weekend that we allowed ourselves only to check our email a few times a day.
Oh,
and
wow.
we weren't actually working. And so I've been on a crusade the last few weeks to kind of figure out how to have a life again.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. You lose friendships. You're just so head down and into what you're doing, and all of your free time is about networking, and there's just a lot. So I've been reading information. I think a lot of people handle things differently, but we need to get back on our exercise program. We need to start being more healthy and all of these things, because when you're in it, we were just so immersed in it that I think we're still figuring that piece out, I'm sad to say.
Yeah. And I love that honest feedback too. I think we all know we need to eat healthy and exercise and take breaks and all of those things, but there's a lot to be done too. And it's really hard to step away when you feel like it needs done now. Do you have a team behind you now?
Oh my goodness, I have a great team.
Okay.
We now have 9 employees.
Oh,
Soon to
wow.
have 10, possibly more. We've had real incredible growth. We started in the underwear industry in September of 2014. We introduced the first boxer brief for women, and now we have a full line of underwear. And a couple of weeks prior to that, I said that earlier that we had Julie Nomi come into our lives, and she has over 30 years of product development experience, and she is a attention to detail person, and she loves quality, and she loves fit. So we tasked her with fitting our first boxer briefs in sizes extra small through 4X. Every style that we carry is extra small through 4X.
Oh, wow.
And there are challenges to that. There are real, and those are all for the same price, because that's about our brand promise of being all inclusive.
Yeah.
And then Julie worked really, really hard and continues to work. She is an assistant now. They need about 4 more in their team. But the 2 of them are the hardest working members of our team, because they have so much going on. We introduced swimwear a few weeks ago. We introduced new style. This is our new luxury. This is our micro modal. It is scrumptious, really fabulous.
I can just
show her a
tell
picture. And we're doing video chat for you. Yeah, and so it's a lot of work, but Julie heads up the product development piece of it, and she's really phenomenal. And then we have just recently hired a real marketing specialist.
Yeah.
We've got an art director who does all of our beautiful photography, and we have logistics. We have someone doing our bookkeeping. So it's a small team, but we're actually close to closing a Series A, and so then we'll hire more people if that all goes well.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you think, for those listening that have a product, like, what do you think is easier or harder or better or different between selling wholesale or direct to consumer? Do you have thoughts on that?
I do. I absolutely.
You're like, I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah. I think that first and foremost, you have to pick a lane. I don't think you can do both.
Oh, okay.
Especially at the early stage, you have to pick a lane, because they're very different business models.
Sure.
For example, if you're going wholesale, you spend your energy in what the display is going to look like. You've got a sales team. You don't have to be out there doing as much marketing, like the whole social media piece of it. And so we chose direct to consumer because we like the margins of a direct to consumer. We feel like we have a much more direct feedback, but it's a much shorter timeline. And so with wholesale, you don't have that one-on-one, but if you're selling something that is better mass produced, or you want to get into big stores, then you should go that route. If you want to be smaller, more lean, and continually running out of money, you go consumer.
Continually running out of money. That's perfect. Sign me up for that one, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I love it. All right. As we wrap up, what is one thing that as just you with you and what you're doing right now, what is one thing on your radar as an expert that you think we're all going to be talking about in a year or two from now?
In the apparel business or underwear?
Yeah, in the apparel business, in women in leadership, just something that you're really noticing as sort of like an emerging trend that, we as just general consumers might be talking about in a year or so. Like, what's on your radar?
Gosh, let me think. That's a hard one. If I stick with the leadership piece, what I can say is that it's hard for women to raise money. It's very challenging. I mean, all the data is there, and I think that that's changing because a lot of women's groups are forming to make investments in women, and I think in the next few years, some of those investments are going to start paying off in a big way, and we're going to see that oh gosh, you mean a woman director can make an amazing movie and bring in $100 million in the weekend? Oh, women can also run businesses and have great returns on that. And I think people get so caught up in looking for the unicorn that they aren't looking at the realities of what can happen. And so I think that that's really the big story here. Is there are a lot of companies that these 90% of our Series Seed investors were women, and so yeah, it took
women investing in women. I'd love to see more men in that number, but women investing in women,
exactly.
Too.
That's how we're going to change.
That's a win.
Well, women investors are comfortable investing in people who look like them, and so we need more women getting in there and writing the checks and kind of taking that first step of how hard can it be to figure out how to invest in a company.
Right. That's the new mantra.
Yes.
How hard can it be? And
how hard can it be?
Do it. Yeah. I love it. That's a very inspiring note to end on. Fran, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Katrina, for all that you do.
Oh, you're welcome.